Welcome to this new Addon Spotlight. It's there, the de Havilland Canada DHC-6 which is being released just a few hours ago by Aerosoft. It comes into multiple versions, right? You've got the one with the floats, you've got the one with the wheels and the cargo, you've got the wheels, the packs, the ambition amphibian packs, the floats packs, and the floats packs with the short nose. You've got the ski cargo, the tundra packs, the wheels cargo 3-blade, and then you have the cargo 4-blade, the wheels packs, and the skydiver. So you can see that you're getting a lot of additional aircrafts once you've bought this package. So based on the package price, it's, I would say, I wouldn't say it's cheap, but you will get, I would say, a certain value for money if you look at the stuff which you're getting. So we've got multiple versions of the aircraft. So let's select one, right? So let's select the cargo one in this case, and let's try to fly from somewhere. So let's go from Rotterdam, The Hague Airport. Set this to let's start at the parking spot because we're gonna look at the outside, right? We're not gonna really fly with it yet. That's up to, I would say, for another video. So let's wait for it to be loaded, and then we can see how beautiful it is. I already saw some preview videos about it, and I must say that I was really impressed about it. It's also kind of expected, right? You're paying, I would say, a certain amount of money for something, so you also expect some quality. Whilst loading, let me flip to the manual, because there's one thing which you need to keep in mind is that you will get a manual and you will find it into the community folder where the airplane is installed. It's in the community Aerosoft Aircraft Twin Otter, and there you will find a documentation folder which contains the documentation how to, I would say, operate the aircraft, and you can see that it's pretty detailed. So it probably requires some more time to, I would say, go through it and figure out how it works. You can see some nice graphs also about the aircraft, about short takeoffs and landings, special features which are in the aircraft, also the stall speeds and the climbing rates, the different types of aircrafts. So it's really, really, really big. And it's, I would say, pretty clear, right? Also per aircraft type, there's a description of how you can use it, what's special about that one, and how to use those specific functionalities. Like the skydiver, also the cargo one, which we just selected, right? You can see that you can open a lot of things. That's really cool. So let me see if Flight Sim later already loaded. I can see it's loaded. So let's press ready to fly, and let's start with the external review. Keep in mind that we did select the transporter, right? So here it is, and you can see the level of quality and the level of, I would say, modeling is really detailed, right? You can see all the knobs here, all the, I would say, screws, which are really detailed. Also the text is, I would say, really nice. You can see some wear on the aircraft, which is really cool. Then when we go to the front, you can see that there are some heat normally, I would say, probably here, right? Because here are the engines. So that shows us, okay, some stuff about the wear of the aircraft. So this is the nose of the Havilland, right? So it's currently parked. We can see the pilots, I would say, inside the aircraft. We can see the blades. Blades also contain some stamps on it, which are again from high quality as we expect. Then here's the cargo, and it looks like we've got a cargo box in our aircraft, so it's even loaded, and it's also, let's say, fully secured. That's always nice. You can see that despite that it is in transporter, it still has some components of the, I would say, passenger aircraft. And you can open the door, right? So you can simply open the door, and then you can go outside again, and you can close it. Closing it is a little bit harder, right? Because you need to do it from here. from the outside, sorry. I don't think you can do it from the inside. It's always a struggle, right? Or is that a bug that you can't close it anymore? It looks like that's something, right? So that might be something which we need to figure out in another video about how we can close it. It looks like that there's no option, but we will find out later. I thought maybe it was easier to do it, but it was an error on my side. Not sure why you would expect that it shows service door. Oh, it's simply like this. So simply was selecting it incorrectly. So you can see fire extinguishers are all placed. You can even see the first aider kit and some other doors. Right, here's another door on this side, which you can open by pulling the button here, right, to push out the window. But this is for emergency exits only, I believe. So I do think that this is not working, which is, I would say, also the fact with other aircrafts. And eventually we will end up in the cockpit. So let me switch to the normal view here. So this is the cockpit. You can see it contains the steering wheel, right, the yaw damper, the auto, a pilot heading, which you can modify, the meters here, right, the speedometer, the direction, the compass. Here are some settings for the autopilot. Here it says, okay, hey, the flight controls are locked, and that's due to this. So I'd say it's really realistic, right? So this means probably that you can't use this control, but maybe you should remove it first. Yeah, that's it, right? So you can remove it. It's probably to protect that no one can manage the aircraft if it's in a safe spot. Again, right, compass, altitude meters over here, then some other compasses, then the climbing rate, I think. Then here on this part we've got several pieces for the autopilot, right, including setting the altitude and also the different modes which are available. In the center screen there are the engine related settings like the RPMs and the prop RPMs, the torque and the pressure, the oil temperature, of course, and some other options here about how to manage the view, right? So we can pull the fire handler, we can test the fire handler, we can do the view cut, we can manage the radios. So that's really cool, right? So we can manage the navigation radios, the communication radios. Here we've got the transponder, if I'm correct. So let's have a look what's available other than that. We've got the trim here to trim the nose and the rudder trim also here. We can open the doors, right? So we can open the doors and again close the doors. So you can see a lot of functionality is available by default in the aircraft. On the top of the cockpit we've got the warning lights, right, including the doors unlocked, the generators which are overheating, the oil pressure which is not good, the duct overheat, a lot of nice things, and some options to for the compass calibration, radio on or radar on. Here we've got the throttle, right? So normally throttle is, I would say, somewhere in the center of the aircraft, but in this case for this aircraft the throttle is in the center of the cockpit, which is, I would say, nice. And besides that we find other options like the battery switch, DC master switch, which are of course needed to, I would say, fire up the aircraft and then I would say move away. Now I prop myself in a really weird position. So let's do it the other way. So here are the buttons again for the engine, right, which we discussed. Here are the throttles. Here we've got the propeller and the fuel, which we can manage. So we can reduce the RPMs, right, to avoid that we're spilling too much fuel. Then on above that, right, there are the console flaps for the console flap and trim panel lightnings, some engine lighting, and several buttons which you can use to manage the lighting in the aircraft or also outside the aircraft, of course. the de-ice buttons, right? So the right stabilizer, de-ice pressure test, which you can perform. So several test buttons. So a lot of things which we need to go to in, I would say, future episodes of this aircraft. On the right side, so on the co-pilot side, you will find the windshield where you can change the wiper to make sure that you can still look to the windows. And then we are again back outside of the cockpit. So pretty interesting aircraft, probably a lot which we need to learn, right? Because that's always, it could be a steep learning curve, especially with the Aerosoft aircrafts, because they have so much functionality, and almost all the functionalities which are in a normal or in a real world airplane are mostly available in this type of aircrafts, and that's why I like the quality. So here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.